Greetings, fellow humans. Katrina here. Quick disclaimer, I'm a professional, not your professional. Nothing about safe should be taken as medical, legal, or otherwise advice. This podcast is purely for education and amusement. That is it. Disclaimer over. So today I thought I'd talk a bit about something I really didn't know a lot about before I read a bit about it, and that's what I don't know about screen time. And so some of these numbers may be shocking. They were a little bit shocking to me, but I'll go ahead and get into it. And the first bit of information I have is from the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. So they went ahead and the CDC came up with average daily hours that people are already using their screens. And this is for minors at first. So 8 to 10 years old, they're on about 6 hours a day. 11 to 14-year-olds are about 9 hours. 15 to 18 years old is about 7.5 hours. And what's crazy is these figures don't even include the time that kids spend on their screens for schoolwork. So school during the day, if they're doing a Zoom class, and then homework in the evening. So this is a lot of screen time. And the recommended boundaries for kiddos is under 2 years old, zero screen time except for video chatting with family and friends. 2 to 5 years old, no more than 1 hour per day co-viewing with a parent or sibling. And then 5 to 17 years old, generally no more than 2 hours per day except for homework. Now, you're probably curious about adults. So when it comes to adults, we don't get more screen time than those teenagers. It says experts say adults should limit screen time outside of work to less than 2 hours per day. And the activity that they recommend doing instead, basically any time beyond what you would typically spend on screens, should instead be spent participating in some sort of physical activity. There are some negative effects to too much screen time. So some of those negative effects include insomnia and poor sleep. So the lights from the screen actually signals your brain to stay awake. So definitely not recommending staying up scrolling in bed. And that constant input throughout the day can make it difficult to unwind at night. So if you have persistent sleep issues, you might benefit from a sleep study or just putting that phone down a few hours before bed. Eye strain and headaches. So too much time spent looking at screens can cause fatigue or discomfort in your eyes, as well as dimmed vision. Glare on screens and the brightness of the display can place further strain on your eyes. So eventually that kind of strain can lead to headaches. There's also addictive behaviors. So social media and smartphones have been around for less than 20 years, and the impacts they have on humans are still being discovered. Recent studies have uncovered that people develop addictive behaviors with smartphones and social media, including thinking about the device or platform constantly and craving using it, using their smartphone or social media apps to cope or modify their mood, and experiencing symptoms of withdrawal when they are unable to access their phone or apps. If these behaviors progress to interfere with everyday life, it is a cause for concern. Another negative effect is neck, shoulder, and back pain. So time spent sitting at your desk or holding a phone and looking down places strain on the neck, shoulders, and back. When these positions are held for extended amounts of times, it can lead to pain and sometimes more severe musculoskeletal issues. I think there's also this new Neuralins thing for glasses that's supposed to help with the neck, shoulder, and back pain. I don't know what that's about, though. I've just heard of it. You can Google it, Neuralins. So another negative effect is changes in cognition. So our thoughts can be affected by a lot of things. And we know that too much screen time is not good for children's developing brains. But what impacts does too much screen time have on adult brains? Well, in 2020, a study found that people who had been diagnosed with smartphone addiction had problems with the part of their brain responsible for transmitting messages and poor cognitive performance. And lastly, but not least, reduced physical activity levels. So time spent on screens is time that people in past generations would spend being physically active. Things like taking walks, working in a garden, playing sports, working on projects, etc. A sedentary lifestyle is directly linked to an increased risk of obesity and other physical health problems. I will say you can do physical activities and be on the screen, though. I have gone for walks and been on a video chat, and I've also done things like my spray paint art and had the video going, recording on TikTok or something. So sometimes you can multitask. So if you're wanting to reduce that screen time, though, if you're wanting to get off the phone, a few tips for reducing the screen time include turning off your notifications. So when you get that notification, it always, at least for me, it triggers us to look at the phone. And more likely than not, spend additional time on the phone beyond checking what the notification is. So you get a notification in one app, you go check it, and then you end up on another app and another app. The next thing you know, it's 2 hours later. So set a timer. Use a timer on your phone, the microwave, or an old-fashioned egg timer when you are watching television or using a tablet. When the timer goes off, turn off the device and make an effort to move your body. Go for a walk, clean a room, or try an at-home workout. Lastly, leave the phone out of the bedroom. Easier said than done, but many people fall prey to scrolling on their phone in bed at night or when they first wake up in the morning. This interferes with your sleep and can significantly add to your daily screen time. Use an alarm clock to wake up each morning and leave your phone on a small table outside your bedroom door each night, or just leave it on the kitchen table. Oh, those are my ducks. So just before I wrap up, this podcast, that I read from came from two different doctors' offices. So one was osfhealthcare.org and the other one was readhealth.org. And they do make a point on here to clarify that what I talked about here today is not intended to cover all the health problems associated with screen time. And if you have concerns about screen time and consequences to your health, like eye strain, back issues, symptoms of depression, things like that, you might go ahead and schedule an appointment with your local physician. I hope you enjoyed the information about screen time today. If you want to support the show, click the button on the website. And remember, I appreciate each and every one of you simply for existing.